Hey, everybody. Hello, and welcome to another edition of Just Talking, the podcast that allows us to chew the fat and go over things that we should talk about, but for whatever reason don't. And as always, this podcast and others in the Jazzy Groove Rainy Day podcast family are brought to you by the power of 5. Excuse me. If you like what you're hearing, consider supporting the channel, and at the very least, hit the like button. And now, on with the program. And the program is be careful what you wish for. Now, that isn't something that is said every day, but carries a whole lot of weight to it. A whole lot of weight.
Objectives and surprise.
This thing. Okay. Anyway, this podcast has to do with people who say things in the heat of the moment without thinking for a second about the consequences of those actions, and then later having to live with those consequences. Because remember, for every action, there is an equal but opposite reaction. It is what it is. And again, I don't know what to tell you. You got people who say things. I wish so and so and so and so. In the heat of the moment, not even beginning to think about the ramifications of that thought. Without thinking that you just might get it and it might not give you the result that you were hoping for. Again, it is what it is. I can't help it. Don't shoot me. I'm just a messenger. I have no skin in this game. Now, we're going to get into a video by Donovan Sharp. Shout out to you, Donovan, and the people over there at TSR. And we're going to listen to what happens when men stop pursuing women. And that statement right there is the result of that careful what you wish for. I wish men would stop sweating me. I wish men would stop pursuing me. And then wondering, why don't men want to talk to me? You can't have it both ways. You just can't. But let's get into it.
Surprise. Women are complaining about getting exactly what they've asked for. Why on God's green earth would men risk embarrassment, humiliation, and even possible criminal prosecution just for trying to strike up a conversation with a girl he wants to get to know romantically? Well, the answer is that he's not. Men are problem solvers, okay? We are solutions oriented. So in order to bypass all of the nonsense that comes with pursuing women in public, they just approach girls on dating apps to avoid the embarrassment, the humiliation, and possible legal ramifications. Ladies, you asked for this. You asked for this and you got it. You made your bed and now you have to lay
it. Excuse me. There you go. There you go. You asked for it. When women start complaining that guys are creepy and they don't want them to talk to them, they don't want the the attention. There is a big part of their argument that they're not telling. And that part of the argument is simply, we don't want guys that we won't want to talk to us. Which, in and of itself, is asinine. It's incredibly stupid. Because who's to know? Who's to know? I ask you, is anyone really going to know who women will talk to and who they won't talk to? I don't know. I don't know at all. But I know this.
Bye.
See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Because that's what guys are doing now. This whole dating landscape has gotten so out of hand that it is now threatening the very existence of us as a species. We're not going to worry about World War III. World War III is not going to be what does us in. It's each other. Because you got women not wanting to talk to men, and men now saying, well, screw it. I don't want to talk to you either. And it's not a matter of if this is going to happen, because it's happening right now. So it's not a matter of if, it's now when. And I don't understand, for the life of me, oh no, I better change that. No. I was going to say that I don't understand for the life of me how it got to be this way. But that's not true. I know exactly how it's gotten this way. Overcorrection, which is a hallmark of human stupidity that has been happening since the very beginning. We can't just address the problem at its root and fix it. No. We can't do that. We can't do that at all.
Nope.
We got to overcorrect it. We got to make sure that we now placate the victim at the expense of the perpetrator. Now again, let's take the common sense test of this. Is that kind?
Nope.
Is it fair?
Nope.
Is it just?
Nope.
Is it right?
Nope.
Does it happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It happens all day, every day. Multiple times a day, as a matter of fact. You got people who make it their life's mission in the name of decency and equality to overcorrect, to give a little extra to the aggrieved. And while it's admirable, I should say, that they do want to do that, what cost does it come with? That's another thing that people don't tend to think about. What is the price I'm going to have to pay to make this better for you? And I guarantee you that the answer, no matter what it is, will fail the common sense test every single time. Without fail. It's going to fail. So, what's a guy to do? This video, to bring in its proper context, started with the young lady in the video complaining that guys don't pursue anymore and how it's wrong. And they should do it, but they don't. Now, before we get into the more of the video, let's ask ourselves a very important question. And that question is, why? Why don't men chase women anymore? Why does it seem to be so hard these days for a woman to get a guy? Well, that answer is incredibly simple. Men don't chase women because women have told men not to. And because men are problem solvers, if the problem is women don't want us men to approach them and talk to them, we're going to stop. That's it. We're going to stop. And while it is true that we need each other to procreate, because unless women and or men become asexual, you're always going to need the other one. Men tend to do better by themselves than women do. Because women are social creatures and men, by and large, are not. Are they social? Yes. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
They're very social. However, a man can be just as happy by himself. Case in point, moi. There are times I think that maybe I do need to associate with other people. But it's more for networking than anything else. And no, I don't want to, because I don't want the headaches that come with it. So I choose not to. Taken to the realm of dating, if something were to happen to my wife tomorrow, and I found myself by myself, I'd grieve. I'd mourn. And as much as I hate to say it, I'll eventually get over it. Which is a very, very yucky thing to even think about, let alone say. How are you going to get over someone that you pledged your life to? I don't know. What I do know is that eventually I'll get over it. And at the end of it, it's a wrap. It's over and done with. I'll talk to people, sure. I might, a huge word there is might, deal with people on an intimate level, but that might is because I don't see myself dating. I've always told Jeanette, one time and out the door. I took those vows very, very seriously. Till death do us part. And even then, I'm going to hold on. because she's given me so much joy. She's done a lot for me. She's shown me a lot, and I'm a better person for it. I'll be the first to admit it. I'm a better person for it. Are there things that I could be better at? Sure there are. Yeah. And I'm working on those things. Will they ever get better? Nobody knows. Least of all me. But I'm a work in progress. And being a work in progress means that I'm going to slip up from time to time. I'm going to stumble and fall. But I've got the presence of mind to pick myself up, brush the dirt off, and get right back into the race. That's it in a nutshell. That's what makes me me. Let's get back to it.
Now let's talk about the effort angle that Blondie is complaining about here. Okay? This reminds me of an article that I talked about years ago entitled, Dear Men, This is Why Single Women Are Sick of You. It was written by an older woman, which should come as no surprise, because there was one part of the article when she said she wanted men to put effort into dating her, much the same way this chick is doing here. But here's the problem. Here's the problem. When men make an effort, women pull back. Now, it wasn't always like this, guys. Okay? It wasn't always like this. Back in the day, women used to actually, dare I say, reciprocate a man's effort. If she saw that he was making an effort to pursue her and making an effort to let her know that he genuinely likes her, she used to do the same in return. This is how relationships were formed. But because of feminism, the hashtag #MeToo movement, dating apps, Instagram, and all the rest of that, women are always entertaining a bunch of guys at the same time. Women are always entertaining more than one guy. Never ever, when you first start talking to a woman, romantically, if you're sleeping together, whatever the case may be, MLD says this all the time. Just imagine her gobbling a bunch of you-know-whats. Understand that when you first start seeing a woman, you are almost never the only guy she's seeing or sleeping with. And because women have had their software reprogrammed to reward douchebag behavior, they pay the most attention to the guy who's putting in the least effort. So again, men being problem solvers, we observe this happening to us and other people on the regular, and we figured out that the less effort we put into pursuing and dating a woman, the more effort she puts in. And let's be clear. I want to be crystal clear. It should not be like this.
Is it kind?
Nope.
Is it fair?
Nope.
Is it just?
Nope.
Is it right?
Nope.
It just is.
Yeah.
And if you really want to change that dynamic, you're going to have to put in work. There is no magic bullet. There is no magic elixir. There's no wonder drug that you can take. That's all coulda, woulda, shoulda nonsense. And as I said before, we here at the Common Sense Network, we don't deal in coulda, woulda, shoulda. We don't deal with what might be or how it ought to be, how it should be, how it could be. We deal in what is. We live in the here and now with a focus on the future. That's it. We don't worry about coulda, woulda, shoulda. Because as I like to say, if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle. But she doesn't, so she's not. I think that women should really go out of their way to show the allegiance to the guys that they like. In an ideal world, that's what would happen. But do we live in an ideal world?
Nope.
No, we don't. And because we don't live in an ideal world, we have to deal with things as they are. I can't break this down any simpler than it is now. You really want guys to start chasing you again? Stop telling them that they're creepy for doing so. Be very, very careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. You keep telling somebody, you ain't ish. Get away from me, you're creepy. Ew, you're ugly. Keep telling them these negative things, and pretty soon, two things are going to happen to a guy. Either A, he's going to believe your nonsense and shrivel up into a little ball and hide away from humans, or he's going to stand up straight, say, no, I'm not, screw you, and walk away. And we are now well and truly in the era of guys understanding what they are, who they are, what they bring to the table, and how they don't need the nonsense. Because this is nonsense. This is stupidity. I'll say it. It shouldn't be this hard to meet somebody that you like and to conversate with them. Get to know them. Get closer to them. And hopefully down the line, propose to them and marry them. The first problem that women had was when they decided to just give it up. And that was in the 60s. That was the free love movement in the 60s. That was Woodstock. That was the Isley Brothers when you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. That's what that was. That's what that meant. Don't worry about it. This cannot stand. This is going way beyond stupid. This has now become a crisis. Excuse me. And as I like to say, this can only end in tears. Nothing good can come of it. And nothing good is coming of it. And it's getting progressively worse. I fear for my children. Because we tried to raise them with a good sense of right and wrong in their heads. We tried to raise them with their morals intact. We tried to teach them how to navigate life to this point. But what happens when we're not there anymore? I can only hope and pray that my daughter and my son are strong enough to resist temptation and do the right thing. I don't know. I really don't know. Let's get back to it.
It absolutely should not be like this, but I teach men to deal with women the way they are, not the way they should be.
There it is. There it is. So what I've been telling you guys, I've been telling you to deal with them as they are, as they present themselves. Not how you want them to be. And I'll be right back. Yes.
Hey, Dad.
Yes, Alex.
So Mom's got a question.
Hurry up.
So, I'm doing that thing on spring break, right?
Yep.
We need to know if you'll be providing transportation.
I told you 3.5 hours ago. Yes, I am.
Okay. We just didn't hear you.
No, you didn't hear me. Because I said it. You were right there. And I told you, yes, I will do it.
Okay, Dad.
And we're back. The joys of fatherhood. Anyways, let's get back.
This is the problem, incidentally enough, that a lot of Christian men and the advice that they give have. Christian men and their pastors are out here teaching men to deal with the women of yesteryear. And it's clearly not working because the women of today are not the women of the past. So when women like this complain about men not pursuing and the lack of effort they put in, I say to that, too bad. We are giving you women exactly what you asked for.
I find no fault in his logic at all. No fault. Because what you see is what you get. You asked for this. You wanted it. You told us not to approach you. You told us not to talk to you. You told us that we were creepy. And we got the hint. And it wasn't even a hint because it wasn't implied, it was stated. And not only are we problem solvers, but we do a pretty good job of addressing a problem sooner rather than later, especially when it comes to the dating scene. There's a problem, let's fix it. You want to say we're pushy? You want to say that you don't want us to talk to you? Fine. We won't talk to you. Now I ask you, how'd that work out for you? Here you are crying in your Cheerios. They won't talk to me. Why are guys not talking to me? Oh, woe is me, woe is me. I'm blowing out your butt. Because that's about as good as it's going to get for you. You asked for this. Be very, very careful what you wish for. Because you just might get it. Let's get back to it.
Let's continue.
Or they're like, why don't girls just go and make the first move and make the effort? When did it become a thing? Now it's like role reversal where they expect girls to be making the first moves, yearning for a guy and chasing him. That is, I feel like, the downfall of why it's so hard to meet someone, because men don't put in effort anymore, don't care to put in effort. And a relationship won't work unless the guy likes the girl just a tiny little more. He has to like her just the tiniest bit more.
Oh, no. Whoa. Nope.
Nope. That don't work. And I'll get into it a little bit later, but Donovan, tell the audience why that doesn't work.
No way. Guys, this is 917% false. Not even close. Not even close. Let me tell you guys exactly what happens when a girl knows that you like her more than she likes you. And listen up here, because I'm about to drop some serious game here, and I know that each and every one of us has been through this more than once. When a woman knows that you like her even a little bit more than she likes you, a funny thing starts to happen. All of a sudden, she doesn't call or text as often. All of a sudden, she becomes more entitled. She's more short-tempered. She's disrespectful. Now, before she knew he liked her more than she liked him, she wanted to spend time with him. She wanted to make him happy. She wanted to make sure that he knew that she was his and only his. But after she figures out that he likes her more than she likes him, all of a sudden now she wants to go to the club with her friends instead of staying in with him and maybe watching a movie. Instead of doing her best to make sure that he knew that she was his and nobody else's, now she wants to play these mind games. Now she wants to make him wonder whether or not he's the only guy she's sleeping with, or whether or not he's in a rotation of men, or whether or not she even wants to continue seeing him. You see, ladies, when we show you that we like you and make an effort to show you that, you do a complete 180. You guys stop doing the little things that made us like you in the first place. But
Again, I find no fault or flaw in his logic. Tell me that doesn't happen. Tell me that doesn't happen. I'll wait. Could have waited even longer and gotten the exact same result. It happens every single day, every single time. When a man shows a woman that he really cares about her, she cools off. And you know when she gets back on program? When the man cools off. Because now she's thinking, wait a minute, he's not home. Where is he? What's he doing? Who's he with? She becomes apprehensive. She becomes unsure of her place in the relationship. As it also turns out that she finds out she really does like the guy. And why is the guy cool off? Because he's like, this is stupid. This is getting me nowhere. I can't handle this. This is stupid. Enough is too much. So we're going to pump the brakes. We're going to put this relationship on hold. We're going to pause it. And we're going to find out if the juice is worth the squeeze. Should I continue down this path? And once a guy does that, you would be surprised how fast she turns around. It's like I've always told you guys. In my situation, I would always wonder why, when I was by myself, I couldn't buy companionship. But the minute I got with someone who truly made me happy, the woman came out the woodwork. I couldn't beat them off me with a stick. And although people have their reasons for doing what they do, I guarantee you the main reason is I'm happy. They want what I have. And it doesn't dawn on them that I found someone who makes me happy. No, that can't be it. He's just happy. So I'm going to get with him so I can be happy too. No, you can't. No, you can't. You can't make this stuff up. Remember the old saying, truth is stranger than fiction? It's true, my friends. It's true. Truth is stranger than fiction. That's why the best stories that you can hear are ones based in truth. Because you can see that happening to yourself on an everyday level. You can see it. And that's what makes it exciting. This could happen to you. It won't more times than it will, granted, but it could happen. Let's continue.
When we act like we could do with or without you, that's when you put your best foot forward. Guys, this is why I teach my guys. This is why I teach you guys, rather, to never show her that you like her more than she likes you. No.
Never let them see you sweat. I did a video about a year ago or so ago. And in that video, I talked about never letting a woman see you sweat. Now, we all sweat. We all do. Especially when it comes to, in the dating world, someone you really like. Oh man, she's incredible. She's gorgeous. She's funny. She's caring. She's kind. She makes me laugh. I gotta have her. Which can lead to simping. Now, simping is bad when you go over and above someone who doesn't reciprocate with how you feel. That's bad. Because now you're doing all the work and she's just taking. She's not giving anything in return. That's bad. You don't want that. What you do want is someone who's going to at least, at the very least, meet you halfway. The definition of a compromise is walking away from the negotiation table knowing that everyone didn't get what they wanted. They had to concede. Now, there will be times in your life where you're like, no, that's asking too much. I'm going to have to put my foot down and say no. And that in and of itself is fine. Just be mindful that you're going to have to live with the consequences of saying no. You're going to have to live with it. Good, bad, or indifferent. Again, is it kind?
Nope.
Is it just?
Nope.
Is it fair?
Nope.
Is it kind?
Nope.
A heartfelt and resounding
Nope.
straight across the board. It's just one of those things that you're going to have to deal with. This is the hand that you're dealt. These are the cards that you're going to have to play. When life brings you lemons, make lemonade. Which is a very fancy way of saying take the negative and turn it into a positive. You're not going to be able to completely wash the negative out. But you can use it to your advantage. That's what that saying really means. Accentuate the positive, minimize the negative. Let's get back.
Now, here's the thing. You may actually like her more than she likes you. But if you show it, gentlemen, she is going to punish you every single time. It sucks that men have to be this way, but that's how this is. That's how this is. I tell guys all the time, I hated to have to become an asshole to get good with women, but it was necessary.
And again, I'm sorry for constantly pausing this thing because he's really, really getting into the weeds and explaining this to people. But what he's saying is true. You have to become an a-hole to get women to like you because nice guys finish last. It should never be that way. Growing up, I was always taught to be a gentleman because that's how you get women. Oh no, that's how you get the woman that you're going to marry. Be that gentleman. Pull out the chair for her. Help her put a coat on. Walk on the woman's left, which means that she's closer to the buildings and you're up by the curb. Fight for her honor if necessary. Those are things that I was taught. I do that in a heartbeat for Jeanette. I would die for her. As the women say, point blank, period. I would give anything up to and including my life to ensure that her and my children are happy and safe. Now, do I want to? No. But I will. Because that's what they mean to me. That's what they mean. Let's get back to it.
I think it is an absolute travesty that we as men have to consciously go against our instincts to show a woman we really like her in order to get her time, effort, and respect. This is not a male problem, gentlemen. This is a woman problem. The reason why women like this want us to like them more is so that they can have leverage. They want to have the advantage over you, right? Knowing you like her gives her power. It gives her options. They know that they can toy with you. They know they can stay out of pocket. And they know they can act up because they know you're not going anywhere because she knows you like her more than she likes you. Modern women In case you haven't been paying attention, they've been teaching us how to treat them for ages. And now that we're doing what works, they have a problem with it. So, ladies, you're going to have to resolve yourself to this immutable truth. Until you start reciprocating our feelings and actions, we are going to continue to not like you as much as you like us, or at least give you that impression. Again, this is on women, not on men. Let's continue.
There it is. Never let them see you sweat. Never. And I do mean never, ever let them see you sweat. Because it won't end well for you. Let's get back to it again.
For it to work in the long haul. So it would make sense if a guy really wanted to get to know you, that he would go leaps and bounds to get to know you.
Leaps
when
and
did
bounds.
that shift? Because back in my mom's era, if a guy wanted to take you out on a date, he had to go up to you, he had to get your number, he had to go through lengths to try to talk to you.
He had to go through lengths to talk to you. What she is describing now, gentlemen, is the concept of hoflation.
Now, I'm sure that Mr. Sharp is going to explain to us what hoflation is, but I'm going to go a bit deeper. It's not hoflation. It's called chivalry. It's how men were back in the days of yore. Excuse me. Somebody like. Ugh. But anyways, it was something that men provided to women to make up for the fact that we considered them inferior. You don't like the word. I hear you. But it is what it is. And if you don't believe me, next time you're with your boyfriend, husband, wife, significant other, find a jar that you normally have problems with and let him try to open it. More times than not, he will. In the world of sports, there are documented instances where professional women's teams have been slaughtered by amateur teenage teams. When you talk about transgender, the biggest problem that people have today with them is that the guys that become women slaughter them with their sports. A few years ago, you had a guy who was mid at best in men's swimming, became a woman and dominated. And that's physical. That's biological. Our bone structures are dense. We take in more air. We're physically bigger. We're physically faster. We're physically stronger. Now, are there women that can hold a candle to men? Sure there are. Sure there are.
Yeah.
But finding them is like finding that needle in a haystack. They're not the exception. I'm sorry. They're not the rule. They're the exception. We are bigger, faster, stronger than women. women, female, from male. Woman of man. We were here first. Whether you're a creationist or an evolutionist, we were here first. It ain't hard to tell. It's not that hard. Ugh. I don't understand it. Let's listen to a little bit more of this guy.
Inflation is what today's men are experiencing with modern women. Okay? And for those of you who don't understand what hoflation is basically this. These days, we have to work 20 times harder than our grandfathers worked for women who are 20 times worse than our grandmothers. We got to put in more effort for lower quality women. Back in the day, they didn't have to put in as much effort for higher quality women. Back then, our grandfathers had to put in a lot less effort to impress women who had a lot more value. But dudes ain't going to great lengths anymore to talk to girls because girls simply aren't worth it anymore.
Shout out to Pearl Davis. The juice is not worth the squeeze. Don't shoot the messenger. I don't make the news, I just report it. And you can do what you will with the information. Now, will women heed my warning? Will they listen to what I'm saying and try to make things better for themselves in the hopes of making it better for everyone?
Nope.
Why won't they? They won't because we're not going backwards. The concept of time is forever moving forward. Time doesn't stand still, and it surely isn't going back. It is constantly, forever moving forward. I can't correct what I said 5 seconds ago because I can't get that time back. I just can't. The best I can do is correct it in real time, hope people understand it, and keep moving forward. Again, it is what it is. And for the people who don't understand what I'm saying, or better yet, the people who won't understand what I'm saying, I can't help you. I can't help you.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
I can't do anything to make you understand it. And I won't. I'm just going to do what I can to make things better for people. And women aren't going to deal with it because women don't care, which is another podcast that I did. And it's another one I would advise people to listen to after this one if they get a chance, or when they get a chance. Women don't care. They don't have to. And we guys play a big role in that. Because we never held them accountable to anything. Never. It just is what it is. You can't make this stuff.
And men are starting to realize this, guys. Men are starting to figure out that putting in the kind of effort necessary to impress low-quality girls is a bad investment of their time, energy, and effort.
Otherwise known as ROI.
How my parents met? They met at a bar, and my dad asked for my mom to dance. My mom was like, "Get out of here." She wanted nothing to do with him. If he had just left and listened to her, they would have never gotten married. They would have never had kids. But he was persistent. He wanted to take her on a date so badly.
I see.
He was like,
And you want us to do that. And again, I ask you a question. Why? Why must we do this? You don't appreciate it. You've never appreciated it. You will never appreciate it. How many men out there have gone through life up to this point and actually heard a woman compliment them on anything? Anything at all? You'd be hard pressed to hear it. Women don't do it. They're not told they should do it, so they don't. And I don't understand how women today can, I don't know how they can do what they do. It baffles my mind. But I don't know. I really don't know. This video is 52 minutes, 31 seconds in length. It is required viewing or listening. Don't care how you do it, but you need to listen to it. And you need to understand it. You need to internalize it, break it down, take the parts that will apply to you, to yourself, and apply them to your everyday life. Because what is being said by Donovan in this video can save your life. And I don't say that lightly. I'm not talking to hear myself talk at this point. And I rarely do. But I'm not talking to hear myself talk. I'm here telling you straight up, one-on-one, this is what it is. This is how they move in 2025. This is what you're up against. These are the things that you should do that'll maximize your happy ending. Now, one thing that I've heard that I will say we can work on as guys is we need to stop the hookup culture. Now, I know before you get started, I know that women initiated it. But that doesn't mean we have to participate in it. We need to be intentional on how we deal with the opposite sex. We have to Be intentional. Now, will there be guys out there that are cavalier in the attitude toward women?
Yeah.
There'll always be. But if you really want happiness and you really want a long-term partner, or you want a mate, you want a wife, there are ways you're going to have to navigate in this modern dating market that are going to maximize the chances of you finding that person. And before we go, I'm going to tell you another thing that's not going to sit well with women, but it's very true. You need to leave those boss babes alone, because you'll never make them happy. Ever. Will you make them happy?
Nope.
So then why even bother? Don't do it. It's that simple. Be very careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. And if you do get it, it won't end well for you. It very rarely does. And with that, we've come to the end of yet another one. And if you happen to make it this far, and this has been a long one, I'll be the first to admit it. This has been a long one. But if you managed to last this long, thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to present another viewpoint for your consumption. Your mileage will vary. It's not may vary, it will vary, depending upon what you learn and how you apply it. And if you don't learn anything, so be it. At the very least, I hope I was able to entertain you. It is what it is. And as always, this podcast, another podcast in the Jazzy Groove Rainy Day Podcast family, are brought to you by the power of 5. Like, comment, subscribe. Those 3 by themselves, very powerful. Want to take it up a step? Notify. Want to go even further than that? Share. Want to go further than that? Consider donations. There are links below in the description. Every little bit helps. But that's not as important as the like button, because that button by itself opens up an entirely new world for myself and content creators like me. It allows us to reach more people, touch more lives, and maybe, just maybe, we'll help somebody on a pathway to a better outcome. And if I manage to do that, my work is done. And with that being said, this is the incredible OBJ, soothsayer, podcast host, an all-around decent person, telling you thanks for tuning in. Be kind to one another. Do better. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye, y'all.